You're listening to KLOK, San Jose, San Francisco, and Oakland, the most powerful Desi radio station in America, a Universal Media Access-owned radio station.
Zindagi gulzar hai. Math, science, history, unraveling the mystery that all started with a big bang.
Hey, if you want to keep up on all your favorite TV shows, whether they're South Asian or American, Rangmunch with Alima is the place to be.
Dosto, this is Rangmunch with Alima.
Tune in every Saturday night, 8 to 10 p.m. on Desi 1170. If your dentist appointments sound like that, then it's time to make the switch to Dr. Lee. Dr. David Lee, Family Cosmetic and Restorative Dentistry, with offices in San Jose and Sunnyvale. Give them a call today at 408-972-9926 or go to smileplanner.com. Dr. David Lee, quality and comfortable dental care you can trust.
Good evening, Bay Area, Lowell. I have lowered the bow. I missed you last week.
Yeah, I missed you too, Alima. But hey, I made the cameo appearance, right?
Yes, you did, but it just wasn't enough. It wasn't
Right.
just like old times.
Yeah,
but
it wasn't the same.
Yes. Dosto, this is Rangmunch with Alima on Desi 1170. Hope everyone is having a fantastic and cool Saturday. Namaskar. It's my car read 93 when I was coming here to San Jose.
Really?
And, when I came out of the gym into my car this morning at 11 o'clock, it was reading 102.
Where were you? Because I was in Oakland today, and they were saying it was mid to high 80s. Wow.
I was at the cross section of San Jose and Campbell. That's where my gym class is on Saturdays, and it was 102.
Wow. Yeesh.
And then Santa Clara was reading 83 as I was driving down to San Jose, and as I hit King Road, it went up to 96. Now, it's like 8 o'clock. Like 7:30 is when I was coming, right? But it's crazy. It's crazy. In fact, I was reading that Death Valley did go up to 127 or something like that.
Wow. Today?
Yeah, today,
Really?
yeah.
Wow.
Before before noon, I believe. It even went up to let's see if I can find that thing, because I was curious to see how high the temperatures went up to. All right, so it says here 128. 128 at Death Valley before even it hit noon. So there were like few people who went there to kind of take the picture of the temperature gauge there, because it was 1913 when they had that 134 temperature, I believe. The highest in the world is what I keep remember reading it. Yep, 134, July 10th, 1913. That's the highest.
Wow.
Yep, and in fact, that's the record temperature for the region and the world. Can you imagine in that heat? I'm sure your goggles would fry, your steering wheel and everything would fry. You have CDs or anything in the car would probably melt and all that stuff. But my goodness, I thought it's not going away yet. I guess we have it still until Wednesday. Is what it's saying. Well, what's happening with you today?
Well, I was fortunate to spend most of today indoors. I was at the A's game, but I was in the press box. The cool
nice.
And obviously the sun-protected press box. But you can't hide from the heat forever. So
That's true.
Yeah, I'll probably be outside a little more tomorrow, for example, than I was today. But yeah, I had a good day today out at the A's game. Mm-hmm. Now coming here for the last time. Can you believe it, Alima? This is going to be my last time running your show.
I am so going to miss you. Though, if you don't know, today is going to be Lowell's last day at the Bow. He's moving on. Well, I wish you the very, very, very best. But I hope we can keep in touch. Well, you should call into the show in the future, right?
Yes.
You can always call remotely and get into the show.
Like the Chaz Man, I will keep in touch.
Exactly. And hopefully Chaz Man might join us. So we'll see. That's going to be interesting. He did want to say bye to you too. So that is cool. This is Alima on Rangmunch with Alima Desi 1170. You have any special request dedications. We're going to be talking about different shows. In fact, I managed to even catch a new show. I have all the time, but it kind of caught my attention, and I'll talk about that. The number to call is 408-912-5565. Stay tuned, dosto, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes.
एक तेरा साथ हमको दो जहां से प्यारा है, एक तेरा साथ, एक तेरा साथ हमको दो जहां से प्यारा है, तू है तो हर सहारा है।
ना मिले संसार, ना मिले संसार, तेरा प्यार तो हमारा है। ना मिले संसार, ना मिले संसार, तेरा प्यार तो हमारा है, तू है तो हर सहारा है।
एक तेरा साथ हमको दो जहां से प्यारा है, एक तेरा साथ। हम अकेले हैं, शहनाइयाँ चुप हैं, तो कंगना बोलता है। तू जो चलती है छोटे से आंगन में, चमन सा डोलता है। आज घर हमने मिलन के रंग से संवारा है, तू है तो हर सहारा है।
ना मिले संसार, तेरा प्यार तो हमारा है। ना मिले
हमको दो जहां से प्यारा है, एक तेरा साथ।
Lunch with Alima is back on Desi 1170. You know, that is funny. That's Chaz on the line.
Go ahead, Chaz. We're opening the door
Well,
for Chaz
this- I
live on
know.
the radio.
Well, dostos, see, we are doing all live shows right now, but this is going to be fun. I'm going to miss Lowell, chatting away and talking and all that stuff, but hopefully we'll try to bring him on sometime. And you know what caught my attention this as I was working out.
My late entry caught your attention.
Well, thank you, Chaz.
Chaz, every listener heard you at the door.
This is Chaz for Alima with Rangmunch. I'm like, thank you for coming up. This is a very nice, pleasant surprise.
This is awesome to be here. I was in the neighborhood. Thought I would just literally quite pop in.
Aha, I love you popping in.
I miss you guys. How are you?
Oh, Chaz,
Doing
great to see you, bud.
great.
Yeah,
Doing
you-
great.
Did you guys miss me?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's why
Always
you don't write, you don't send letters, you don't email, you don't return my text.
All right, take a seat. Take a
Let
deep
me sit
breath.
down and relax.
Relax. Take a deep. Get settled in. Well, as I was scanning how I do my around the world kind of a thing and all that stuff, and of course I posted this on my Facebook timeline. Glow in the dark Lamborghini. Did you read that news item?
No.
Glow in the dark Lamborghini seized by London police. I thought this was fascinating thing. The reason Lamborghini stuck out is because my cousin lives in London, and his dream is to at some point in his life buy a Lamborghini, right? So I put this little article on his timeline and said, "Is this the Lamborghini that you wanted?" So this is like in neon blue color and apparently glows in the dark. And of course, the history behind it is, of course, it belongs to one of the royal ruling families of Qatar, the super rich people. And it's worth $500,000. And it glows in the dark.
That's that's nice.
I mean, it's, you know what? If you look at the picture in color, it's great. I mean, it's super great. I'm not like a car person or anything, but when I saw that, I'm like, oh my God, I would love to have that. That kind of a thing. But anyways, unfortunately, it is on the streets of London and it did not have a proper driver's license who was driving and no proper insurance documents. And they actually have pictures where they tow the Lamborghini away. Can you believe that? I mean, but it doesn't matter how rich or poor you are. You don't have a driver's license. You can't keep a car. You can't drive a car. Right, Chaz?
That's an expensive paint job.
It is. It is an expensive paint job. Well, I heard you were out for a couple of weeks going places.
Oh my God.
Ah.
That's why I'm late. I just got back from a fantastic journey with a fantastic person, and it was incredible. It was a road trip. Tahoe, Lake, Mono Lake, Yosemite,
Wow.
Twin
Cool.
Lakes,
Woo.
hot tubs, the natural hot
Yeah.
springs.
Like near Napa Valley and stuff? Or did you guys
This
go?
was actually in Bridge. Oh, I want to say Bridgestone. Was it Bridgestone? I've got the business. I have the card in my wallet.
Well, it
That's
looks like you've really had a great couple of weeks with
It was
your friend.
fascinating. I went with. It was in Bridgeport.
Bridgeport.
Yes, all of these areas are in California. What was fascinating was we had a lengthy conversation with, of course, with the friend I went with, and it was interesting to get. They're from Scotland, and it's really fascinating. She was giving the perspective of what what Europe, kind of has, her perspective on America.
Mm-hmm.
And we drove and we drove and we drove, and she said, "My God, after all these hours of driving, we could have drove around Scotland."
Right, yeah, that's right,
And the state California does not end. There's so much to see.
Exactly. Yes, I know.
I thought that was fun.
It's fascinating to go on road trips and everything. I mean, it's amazing.
I mean, Chaz, Scotland's got to be what? Maybe the size of Connecticut? It's a relative blip on the map,
Yeah,
right?
it is.
I haven't done my homework on that part yet, but I have learned that I was amazed at how much Scottish influence we have in California. For example, Yosemite. Does the name John Muir strike a chord?
Yes.
Of course.
Scottish
Yep.
descendant. If it weren't for him, we wouldn't have Yosemite and many other parks. there's a lot of Scottish history in which I am going to be looking into.
Well, now he's fascinated with Scottish history, right? But I'm hoping you'll share some of your road trip pictures with us, though.
Oh yes.
Courtesy Facebook.
Yes.
Courtesy.
You've got it. I've got it on my timeline.
Well, I've seen a couple of them. Yes,
I'm
I've
still
seen a
editing
couple
and
of
going through
pictures.
them. But we've got some beautiful pictures. You get an opportunity. You just. What is my Facebook name? Oh, Chazman Laredo. Yes,
well,
Facebook.
Did the heat get to you, Chaz, as you're driving up here?
Oh, the heat, the cold, the excitement. I'm on fire. Look, I'm still sweating. I'm smoking.
You look like you got some sun too.
Yeah.
There is, yeah, and a daughter.
All right, though. So this is Rangmunch with Alima. The number to call is 408-912-5565. Stay tuned. When I come back, we will start off a roundup of some of the shows that I've been watching on all the TV, all Indian TV serials. Okay, be right back.
आसमां के नीचे
आसमां के नीचे. Not bad. आगे.
हम आज अपने पीछे
हम आज अपने पीछे. फिर
प्यार का जहां बसा के चले कदम के निशान बना के चले.
हुजूर ये गीत है या कव्वाली? प्यार का जहां बसा के चले कदम के निशान बना के चले. Oh, guess.
आप तो लगते ही हैं कव्वाल. भैरवी भी गाएंगे तो आपकी मुझसे कव्वाली लगेगी.
आसमां के नीचे हम आज अपने पीछे प्यार का जहां बसा के चले कदम के निशान बना के चले.
आसमां के नीचे हम आज अपने पीछे प्यार का जहां बसा के चले कदम के निशान बना के चले.
चले तो फूल जैसे आंचल के रंग से सज गई राहें. पास आओ मैं पिन्हा दूं चाहत का हार. ये खुली खुली बाहें
जिसका हो आंचल खुद ही चमन कहिए वो क्यों हार बाहों के डाले.
अरे आसमां के नीचे हम आज अपने पीछे प्यार का जहां बसा के चले
कदम के निशान बना के चले. बोलती है आज आंखें कुछ भी न आज तुम कहने दो हमको बेखुदी बढ़ती चली है अब तो खामोश ही रहने दो हमको.
एक बार मेरे लिए कह दो हन के लाल होठों के प्याले.
आसमां के नीचे हम आज अपने पीछे प्यार का जहां बसा के चले
कदम के निशान बना के चले. साथ मेरे चल के देखो आई है धूम से अब की बहारें. हर गली हर मोड़ पे वो दोनों के नाम से हमको तुमको पुकारें.
कह दो बहारों से आई है उनसे Bradford. I'm an ex-British Army captain and an explorer.
अरे आसमां
In
के
2010,
नीचे
I became the
हम
first
आज
person ever to
अपने
walk next to
पीछे
the Amazon River.
प्यार का जहां बसा के चले
कदम के निशान बना के चले आसमां के नीचे हम आज अपने पीछे प्यार का जहां बसा के चले
कदम के निशान बना के चले
And Rangmunch with Alima is back on Desi 11, 710. I have lowered the bow and Chaz joined us just now as I move into some of my top shows that I watched. The first on the list is Chan Chan. I mean, we have talked about Chan Chan on Sony. This is the story about, let's see, a boy and a girl, obviously. Thank God I'm not saying it's, 2 girls or 2 boys. But anyways, Chan Chan is married to Manav, and of course Supriya Pathak Umaben is a very orthodox Gujarati lady, and she hates Chan Chan. So the last we left off was she's married, they're in the house, and she's trying her level best to make sure she's able to break the marriage. But anything she tries end up going in the favor of Chan Chan. So from the kind of last week we have seen her give make tons of food, make different kinds of food, make her wear sari because she's not used to wearing saris. She's stripping and she's falling and she's embarrassing herself and, all that stuff. And, so she's just kind of trying to make her life miserable. Find faults with her, and the last few episodes I've seen where she gives the servant a forced rest because she wants all the daughters-in-law to be working, specifically the youngest daughter-in-law Chan Chan, and of course the best thing that I liked about this is the usage of internet. Anything that she doesn't know, she Googles it. And she goes and does it. Like anything that she needs to cook, she doesn't know how to cook, so she brings her older sister-in-law on Skype, whatever, and then she gets all the instructions and she goes and I like that. I like the way that they're showing how technology can be helpful, able to get all the recipes online or whatever it is. But I like the fact that she ends up doing such a fantastic job, and then of course there happens to be an incident in the kitchen where her sari catches fire and she doesn't realize it. And of course this happens because she's not used to wearing a sari and working in the kitchen all the time, because you just kind of but anyway, so surprisingly the father-in-law comes and says, you know what, it's just not the important thing is not what you're dressed in. The important thing is what you have in your heart. What is that you're doing for others. And it's not what kind of clothes you wear. It's what kind of behavior you have, And so he says, you can wear only the salwar suits at home. You don't have to wear a sari because you're uncomfortable with it. Eventually, whenever you're comfortable, you can end up wearing it. And of course, that creates a major disturbance among all the other sisters-in-law, because they were like, well, I have a problem wearing a sari. Even I had issues, when I came married into this house, and I had problems wearing a sari and working in the kitchen and everything. How come my father-in-law never gave me a reprieve and told me I could wear, the salwar suit? So how is that the youngest one gets to get away with it? What happened, kind of whatever it is. But anyways, and of course, the biggest person disappointed obviously is her mother-in-law, because she's really trying her level best to put her in a bad spot, and she is so not succeeding. Anything she does, it ends up in Chan Chan's favor. And I'm just totally enjoying the show because I just like the way her devious mind works. I mean, one after the other, she comes up with all these plans. So now they are headed off to the honeymoon. Now, the interesting thing is, will she let them go on a honeymoon or not? Is she going to come up with excuses to stop them from going on a honeymoon? But articles and rumors have it that they will end up going on a honeymoon. And then, of course, they end up going to the place where they have initially first time met and have fallen in love. And then he meets his old college friend who happens to be in love with him initially.
Oh, there's
you go. And then, of course, yep. And then you know what's going to happen. So the mother-in-law is going to come to know about it, and she's going to use her trying to break up this marriage. I'm pretty sure that's where the story is headed, Well, that is Chanchan for you people, and I'm telling you, it is not high on dramatics, it's not high on crying, but it's just fun. It is totally hilarious the way she tries to, you know, intimidate her and embarrass her at every turn. And this is the mother-in-law talking about, but there is nothing evil about it. She hasn't gone to the level of being ugly and evil. This has just been like childish pranks, because she's so arrogant and she always wants to have the right thing, that she always wants to be the person who's right. It has to go according to her. Like her word is the command in that house.
Is this a comedy?
It's a comedy, actually. It's not very serious or whatever it is. It's actually fun to watch because it's fun when she's trying to do things that she's not used to. She's an only child. She was pampered. She had things done for her. So when you come married into a house, you have certain expectations as a daughter-in-law of that house. You have certain rituals. You have certain traditions to follow. So for her to do that, like simple thing as everyone comes and eat at the dining table, and typically everyone, when they go, they take the plates with them and just put it in the sink. But this Orthodox family, it's like they leave everything on the table, and it's left to either the servants or the daughters-in-law of the house to clean the table and the plates and all that stuff. So she comes and says, why is that everyone leaves the plates there? Why can't they just take it into the kitchen and put it in the sink? And then the other daughter, oh my God, don't you even say that? How can you say that? Men in this house don't work, all that stuff. She goes, but in my house, my dad and my brother and everyone does that. They come into the kitchen, they help my mom, they clean the dishes. So why is it different? So, the traditions versus the modernity thing, just because you're modern and you don't know doesn't mean you don't respect the traditions. But that's the clash, you're trying to kind of balance it out, and she's trying to learn things and stuff like that. But it's cute. It's funny. It's not offensive, but it's just her trying to get used to the ways of her mother-in-law and her father-in-law.
Yeah, kind of a story about a young woman acclimating to a new family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Well, so that is Chanchan for you. So, well, let us see what's going to happen. I mean, and it's all the little tiny things. The way she wears her sari and she's always tripping over it. Every single second she trips over it. Or how in traditional in India, you always have to have a part of the dupatta covering your head as a mark of respect. And then she puts it and she's always, holding it against her ear because she doesn't want it falling off. So it's just funny to see those things, and you're comparing it.
Does she happen to be blonde?
Huh?
Does she happen to be blonde?
No, she happens to be dark hair. But it's just the difference, because I can imagine my daughter getting married into a traditional family, right? I mean, they have certain things, but she might not be used to. Mm-hmm. So it's so common. It's so normal to go through that stuff. So that's why I like this show, because it shows those disparities, but it's not evil. It is not, it doesn't have any bad things. It's just that
fun.
It is fun.
We need more shows like that, by the way.
I would think so. And the best thing is the mother-in-law and the daughter-in-law are like great actresses. So it's, the roles are so strong. You need very good artists to portray that role, and they're amazing. They're amazing.
And this show is found where?
It's from India, though. It's from Chanchan.
Can you watch it on any of the cable channels here in America?
You can watch. You just pull it out of YouTube.
YouTube. There you go, folks.
YouTube. And in fact, some of these actually are coming up with English subtitles, is what I heard.
I was just going to ask, is this in English, Indian,
it's in
or
Hindi.
Subtitles?
It's in Hindi, but I heard some of them do come with English subtitles. So you probably can Google it. Yeah.
I think. Now
What's
see,
that?
There's a language spoken in Scotland. My friends from Scotland, I need to learn that one. Gaelic. I think Gaelic, yes.
Gaelic.
Yep, I know. Yeah,
And
you're
then
right.
I'll learn
Gaelic.
Hindi.
And then you learn Hindi. Well, anyways, so that is Chanchan for you. And next on my line, of course, another one of my favorite shows is Na Bole Tumne Maine Kuch Kaha. I've said so many times about this show. I've never watched season one. Season one was like in bits and pieces. When season two also, I did not end up watching it until like the later part. And then I kind of went back and kind of caught up on all the shows. And right now, where the story is going is Nani and Bita are married. They're off to Goa on a honeymoon. So, so let's put them to the side. Now, the main issues, of course, Addu and the real Addu and Mohan Bhatnagar. And from the episode on Friday, it is very clear that Addu still has plenty of hatred, and he blames Mohan for everything. And of course, Addu is very jealous, and he misunderstands everything. For a person to be carrying so much hatred for the past 12 years and blame his stepfather for taking away his mom and his sister, I mean, that is something. And I don't think Mohan even anticipated कि इतना नफरत होता है आदू के, you know, on Adu's part. It looks like the person who's playing the fake Adu is actually it's a cameo role, so that role is going to come to an end once he goes back to his grandmother. And now the story is going to be a battle between Mohan Bhatnagar and the real Adu. So, and the thing that caught my attention as I was watching the Friday episode was the intensity of the hatred he had for his stepdad. I mean, it was unbelievable. And Mohan, for his part, and he was thinking exactly like me. I'm like, after so many years, you still have that much hatred? I mean, isn't it like bygones be bygones? And, you know, it's like, let's talk about it and settle it versus you carrying all this hatred without forgiveness. I mean, is it really worth it?
You know, for whom is forgiveness for? It's been said. And when you're talking about forgiveness, a lot of times people think when you forgive that you're making it okay as to for whatever somebody did to you. That's not the case.
No, it's not. And it's not. And like you said, a lot of people might misunderstand forgiveness, but forgiveness is for you to move on, actually. You know,
Exactly.
you're not saying what you did was right, but what you're saying is, yes, you did hurt me, but you know what? I can go beyond that.
And I'm not going to let you do it again.
Yes, and I can go beyond that because
I'm stronger
to me,
than that.
Yes, and to me, because relationships and people are more important than my personal vendetta of holding this revenge. I mean, what am I getting by it? You know,
No, you're
what
hurting
is-
from it.
Yeah, you're hurting,
hurt from it.
you're hurting the other people too, right? So, well, so it's going to be an interesting storyline going forward. I mean, and I could just feel this guy so upset, so tired. I mean, he was literally prepared to take his stepson back home after 12 years, and he just stuns him, saying that, you know what, I am going to bring you down, Mohan Bhatnagar. I'm going to take away your wife. I'm going to take away your daughter, who happens to be my own mother and my own sister, and I'm going to destroy you. So, boy, those are the final words ending on Friday. So I can just feel, I mean, it's an amazing story. I'm totally loving it. I'm loving the fact that there is just not any hidden agenda. Everything is out in the open, and that's what I kind of like about the show, because there's really no evil forces. Yeah, there is a bad guy, which there's always going to be a bad guy, but it's not like people are doing anything, you know, intentionally. I mean, it's not like they're coming here and, you know what I'm saying. It's not. It doesn't have that viciousness.
It's kind of.
It's kind of, there is bad vibes. There is
an
badness.
event of negative energy that's
Yeah.
kind of being passed around here, and it just makes things kind of not run so smoothly.
Yeah. Well, that is Na Bole Tumne Maine Kuch Kaha on Colors. Definitely give it a watch. People who are interested in watching the Indian TV shows, hey, not all of them. You know, as I'm saying that, a lot of people think watching these TV shows is just like all these people who don't have any stuff to do, workless people just sit and watch the shows. And I think that is entirely wrong. I watch it for the pleasure of watching those shows. So what's wrong in that, right?
I think oftentimes, you know, we do have some very good quality programming, whether it's on television, cable, internet. It's not all great program, but there's when you can find a good quality program, I think that it can help you attain some certain standards to live by. You can find some mentors, possibly. When I see programs on documentaries and I'm watching, some scientists talking about some really great stuff,
Yeah,
quantum
yeah.
physics and such.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, I make him
know.
my mentor, and
Yes.
certain things that are very
Yeah.
good
Well,
to follow.
I think it's nice watching the shows, be it soap operas or whatever it is, and lot of people think that all these soap operas are only for women. It's just for women, but I know out there men who watch the
Oh,
shows.
let me tell you,
I know.
in Mexico and with the Spanish-speaking population, or I should say bilingual population, English, Spanish, a lot of Latin community, we have what's called the novela. Mm-hmm. Oh, those are
yes.
very popular with not only
Yeah.
with females, but with the
With
male
yeah.
population.
And there's nothing wrong. It's like you come across these people who watch the shows, but they pretend that they don't watch the shows, and that irritates the heck out of me.
I'm sorry, I missed that. What was
So
that?
what I'm saying is, there are men who would watch the TV shows.
Yes.
They would, but they pretend that they don't watch them. They pretend that it's not for them.
Oh, they'll come around.
No,
Those
but
that
what
do
I'm saying
watch,
is-
they'll
yeah,
come around.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, you it's like you're watching them, but you kind of pretend that these are just for women's stuff.
That comes to tradition. Okay?
Yeah.
That comes to the traditional
Well,
male
yeah,
standards.
it's like-
Men in America traditionally are not supposed to watch these so-called women shows.
Oh, it's not even America. It's same thing in India too.
Truly,
I
right.
mean, yeah, exactly. Well, anyways, so that was Na Bole Tumne Maine Kuch Kaha. Dosto, this is Rangmunch with Alima on Desi 1170. Stay tuned, and the number to call is 408-912-5565. We'll be right back.
If your dentist appointments sound like that, then it's time to make the switch to Dr. Lee. Dr. David Lee, Family Cosmetic and Restorative Dentistry, with offices in San Jose and Sunnyvale. Give them a call today at 408-972-9926 or go to smileplanner.com. Dr. David Lee, quality and comfortable dental care you can trust.
मैं ना भूलूंगी
मैं ना भूलूंगा
मैं ना भूलूंगी
मैं ना भूलूंगा
मैं ना भूलूंगी
इन रस्मों को इन कसमों को इन रिश्ते नातों को मैं ना भूलूंगा
मैं ना भूलूंगी मैं ना भूलूंगी
मैं ना भूलूंगा
इन रस्मों को इन कसमों को इन रिश्ते नातों को
मैं ना भूलूंगा
मैं ना भूलूंगी
मैं ना भूलूंगा
मैं ना भूलूंगी
चलो जग को भूले ओ चलो जग को भूले ख्यालों में झूले
बहारों में डोले बहारों में डोले सितारों को छूले
आ तेरी मेहमान संवारूं तू दुल्हन बन जा
मांग से जो
समय की धारा में, ओ समय की धारा में उम्र है जानी है।
जो घड़ी जी लेंगे, जो घड़ी जी लेंगे, वही रह जानी है।
मैं बन जाऊं सांस आखिरी, तू जीवन बन जा।
जीवन से सांसों का रिश्ता मैं ना भूलूंगी,
मैं ना भूलूंगा,
मैं ना भूलूंगी,
मैं ना भूलूंगा।
मैं ना भूलूंगी।
बरसता सावन हो,
महकता आंगन हो,
कभी दिल दूल्हा हो,
कभी दिल दुल्हन हो,
गगन बन कर झूमे,
बन कर
चलो राहें मोड़े,
संग
कहीं
छोड़े,
पे छुप जाना है,
नजर नहीं आना है,
कहीं पे बस जाएंगे।
ये दिन कट जाएंगे।
अरे क्या बात चली,
वो देखो रात ढली,
ये बातें चलती रहे,
ये रातें ढलती रहे।
मैं मन को मंदिर कर डालूं, तू पूजन बन जा।
मंदिर से पूजा का रिश्ता मैं ना भूलूंगी,
मैं ना भूलूंगा,
मैं ना भूलूंगी। इन रस्मों को, इन कसमों को, इन रिश्ते नातों को मैं ना भूलूंगा, मैं ना भूलूंगी, मैं ना भूलूंगा, मैं ना भूलूंगी।
And oops, I was singing. I didn't want people to hear my loud, blunt voice.
I was enjoying that. Can we go back to that music, please?
Which music? The song that I just played?
The one was, yeah, it was making you sing.
Well, dosto, this is Rangmunch with Alima. The number to call is 408-912-5565. Moving on to our next show, Veera. Well, a lot has happened in Veera. The tiger came, the tiger got caught, and everything is all well and done. And Ranvi is getting a good education from Nihal, and so it looks like he's doing very well in school. Life seems to have kind of settled into a routine onto that show. But of course, there are forces behind that routine that want to mess up. And top of the list is Kartar Singh, who has, he's obsessed with Ratan. So he kind of wants to mess around with his wife. And he creates situations where people think that his wife is the main problem versus him being the main problem because he's so obsessed with Ratan. So there is that going on in Veera. And there seems to be, various articles and stuff as I was reading on all these forums and things that apparently Nihal is going to go into a flashback as to what had happened with Sampurna and how he had died. But then contrastingly, there was another article saying that Sampurna Singh is going to come back alive. So, well, there we go. We just have to see. And of course, I didn't get a chance to talk with the people that I usually talk with to confirm either or, but whatever the case may be, whether he comes back, he doesn't come back, and whatever the flashback may be, it's an interesting storyline coming up. We have a married woman, obsessed with Nihal Singh. What is this with thing? People are not happy with their own marriages, and they're obsessed with other people's other husbands and wives. It's just crazy, isn't that?
Oftentimes, humans are rarely satisfied for any length
For any length of time, I would think
so. They want
so.
more, they want bigger, they want sexier, they want brighter, they want colorful. And if
And
your
they want-
shirts are not as white as
And-
mine,
and-
you're not buying the right detergent.
And they also want the money, right? Of course, the
They
people
want
have
the
to be
more-
rich.
Always more money. They may
Yeah.
be filthy rich, but they want more money.
That's interesting because as I was following this show and I see how these people, and I know, how some of them is just harmless infatuations because you're just infatuated.
Yeah, a
Versus
harmless infatuation.
obsession. You know what I'm saying? Obsession is like you're obsessed. I mean, boy, you would go to any lengths to get him. Versus infatuation is, it's more topical.
Well,
I mean,
when you preface it with harmless, anything can be harmless.
yeah.
Yes.
That's
so
it kind
harmless
of,
is one thing.
So, and I was going through the celebrity list in the US and trying to see, because it's like all these celebrities and everyone, it seems to like live in and out of marriages so fast, so soon. And I was curious to see, do we even have any of these celebrities who have lasted long in their marriage?
Well, let's understand, you have to really cover this from a number of different perspectives,
Yep.
particularly with celebrities. One of them being they need to maintain their celebrity status.
Yes.
And one way to do that,
Just stay quiet.
well,
Stay.
one way to do that is through getting divorces, getting married,
Yeah.
having affairs. That keeps you in what they call in the limelight.
Always
that
in
gives
the
you
limelight.
atten-
Yes, exactly.
That'll keep you in the limelight.
do stupid things, crazy things like Justin Bieber does, right? No matter
You
what.
need to be. You want to be in the public eye.
Or I have. Lowell, have you read the article about Miley Cyrus? She came onto this talk show. What was this guy? God, I keep forgetting this guy's name. And apparently she came in her underpants, and I'm like, and I saw the picture. I'm sitting and thinking, what the heck are you wearing? Seriously, And it made even the host so uncomfortable. Just how old is she? What, 21, 22, whatever. But there are ways to stay in the limelight, but of course people tend to do the most stupid and crazy things to stay in the limelight.
In the first Iraq War, President Bush proclaimed that he was going to instill shock and awe. This is what celebrities are doing.
Oh, well, coming to the weddings and stuff. In fact, I have a few celebrities who have, who have stayed married quite a long. You know what? Actually, I can share that. I think I was fascinated. I mean, I am old. Okay, I come from the old
Get out of here!
school.
Oh, would you? Oh,
I
my
come
God.
from the old school. Okay,
And
I
I-
always pull out the old.
And I'm
old
Scottish.
Stuff. Old stuff. And I was going through some of these people, and I go, Steven Spielberg, 21 years, and Steven Spielberg and Kate Capshaw, they've been married for 21 years. Dustin Hoffman and Lisa, 32 years.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good, isn't that?
Yeah.
That's amazing. Meryl Streep and her husband, Don Gumner, 34 years. And the interesting part about this is you never really hear about her husband. I mean, it's like he always kept his life private.
Well,
it's
and they may have decided that mutually. Yeah, it's about her, when it becomes public. It's not about him.
yeah, but it's very hard for a lot of people to, put that line there, right, Chaz? I mean, it's very hard where you're going to put it. There is one that you have that's always going to be public, and then your life.
Well,
which
I
is
don't
not
know.
a
If my
public,
girlfriend became a mass murderer and was very public,
Oh, well, there you go.
everybody found out about. I would want to not have.
No,
I don't
yeah.
want my name out there.
No, there exactly. Yeah, well, see, there you go. But that is interesting. Even Patrick Dempsey and Gillian Fink, 13 years. I mean, it's very in a world where we always hear bad things, always hear
Yeah, all too common.
It's nice to at least once in a while talk about people who have been together, no matter what problems they had.
Yes.
I mean, everyone has problems. I argue with Sai, we argue. That doesn't mean you have a bad marriage. You know what I'm saying? But despite everything, to be staying together for so long, I think is commendable.
Yes, that's an incredible discipline. And I say discipline because
Especially being celebrities. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
especially being.
especially
I mean,
celebrities.
Sai and I have been married for 20 years. We are just commoners. I mean, gosh, I mean that. But you know, but for
Well,
people
actually,
in the
I'm thinking on that again. No, not especially celebrities. That's the lifestyle they chose.
Well, yes.
You know, so it's part of their life. It's the status, the popularity. It's all part of what is to be expected. If you marry with somebody who's rich and famous, and you come to accept that. You learn to live with it, or
you do, but
or you
it's
get
but
out
it's
of it.
always a double-edged sword, right, Chaz? Anything could go wrong, kind of any time in anyone's life, whether you're a
any
celebrity
relationship.
or not, right? You know, so it's a matter of what choices you've made, what decisions you've made to make it stick together. It's
both
kind of what,
both
yeah.
partners need to
Both
stick to those
partners, yeah. I
rules.
mean, like Warren Beatty and Annette Bening. I love these people. I've always
Oh,
loved
yes.
these people. 20 years together. Michael J. Fox.
There's a nice guy.
Yeah, and Tracy Polton, 24 years, and I know he went through Alzheimer's and everything, right? I mean, he's been through quite a lot. I mean, for that matter, Christopher Reeve, who passed away
And
when
his
he
wife.
had that accident
Yes.
too. Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
it's Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn. 29 years. I always like those too. I mean, I remember those Mad Max movies or whatever it
Mad
is.
Max,
And
yes,
yeah,
indeed.
I was fascinated with those movies. Even with all that violence and everything, I was totally fascinated. Kurt Russell was a handsome hunk. My God.
Okay.
You
You
know.
know, you're elaborating on the men here. What about the women? Can we get a little elaboration on the women? How
Hey,
beautiful
women
the
women
Can we get a
too.
little balance here?
Well, if anyone wants to talk about women, then it has to be you and Lowell. You can tell your favorites, right?
Well, I don't really follow the rich and famous, so I don't know who's
No.
been together how long.
Yeah.
Lowell?
No, the only reason.
Yeah, you
We're
got
men.
me.
We don't
Yeah.
follow that.
Well, see, the thing is, the only reason I pulled up this because I was fascinated because this week has been a little light at work, so I was always thinking, why is it that people always talk about breakups and everything, you know? And I just wanted to see how many celebrities are out there who are still together. Though it's just a matter of kind of Googling it, and then you'll get all your answers on Google, right? So I mean, I like Tom Hanks, and 24 years. It's nice to see these people that I like at least kind of staying together. The list goes on and on and on. I have plenty. There is Beckham, there is Kevin Bacon, there is, but
What
every
about
single
Catherine Zeta-Jones and Michael Douglas?
there you go.
How long have they been together?
Google it, you will find it how long they've been together. I don't think they've been together very, very long because they married very late, if I remember
Did
correctly.
they?
Yeah,
I don't know how long.
they've married
I'm
very
getting
late.
bombarded with information here on my computer, and as we're listening.
But then again, they've been together. I mean, he had throat cancer. They've been together with with a lot of stuff and things, and I like both of them.
Did he get over that throat cancer?
Yes, he did. He
Very
did
good.
get
I
over it.
had one of my family members, an aunt of mine. She seems to be getting over throat cancer. It was very frightening.
Yeah,
But, she
they
seems to
thought
be-
he was going to lose his voice and everything, but I think he fought it through. And
You see,
it was-
folks, cancer is not an automatic death
that,
sentence.
yes, you have to give it a big fight before you let it take it up. So. Well, anyways, we just seem to be hitting the top of the hour, Chaz.
Top of the hour.
Top of the hour. So those stay tuned. This is Rangmunch with Alima on Desi 1170, and that number to call is 408-912-5565, and we'll see you back in a few minutes.
Been a few.
मुसाफिर हूँ यारो ना घर है ना ठिकाना मुसाफिर हूँ यारो ना घर है ना ठिकाना मुझे चलते जाना है बस चलते जाना मुसाफिर हूँ यारो ना घर है ना ठिकाना मुझे चलते जाना है बस चलते जाना
If you would like your skin to be healthy and flawless, if you're looking for a natural solution for skin issues like acne, hyperpigmentation, or excess dryness, or if you're looking for a chemical-free solution to achieve the skin you've always dreamt of, then your wait is over. Introducing Apsara Skincare, a complete skincare company based on Ayurveda with no chemicals, no harsh ingredients, and products for all skin types and all skin concerns. Visit Apsara Skincare at apsaraskincare.com today to learn more. That's APSARA skincare.com. Simply fill out the personalized skincare advice form on apsaraskincare.com and receive answers to all your skincare questions for free. Order online and receive free shipping, advice, tips, and much, much more. apsaraskincare.com. Call toll-free at 1-888-977-4724. Listen to Sheetal, the founder of Apsara and a skincare expert herself, right here on Desi 1170 AM, every Friday at 8:45 a.m.
From the creators of Veer Zara, Doom, Three Idiots, they now bring you The Bung and Agnipad. That's tasty Indian pizza in Sunnyvale. We now offer any large pizza for $14.99 or two for $25.99. Give us a call at 408-642-7673 or check us out online at tastyindianpizza.com.
विजय दीनानाथ चौहान को मरना पड़ेगा.
I am Chandrasekhar. I live in the Bay Area and I have been using Sanjay Tax Pro for the last 4 years for my personal and business tax filing needs. Sanjay is not
KLOK, San Jose, San Francisco, and Oakland. The largest and most powerful Desi radio station in America. A universal media access radio station.
If your dentist appointments sound like that, then it's time to make the switch to Dr. Lee. Dr. David Lee, Family Cosmetic and Restorative Dentistry, with offices in San Jose and Sunnyvale. Give them a call today at 408-972-9926 or go to smileplanner.com. Dr. David Lee, quality and comfortable dental care you can trust.
Rangmunch with Alima is back for the second hour on Desi 1170, low at the bow.
Is it the second hour already?
You're having way too much fun, Chaz?
Oh my goodness.
Can I take the credit for all? Can I just take all that credit?
Oh, darling.
Nah,
but of course.
No. You guys are amazing. I'll miss you guys when you're not. We have way too much fun here, I think.
We're not only amazing, we're handsome.
There you go, people.
Go.
Those two, I have two handsome hunks, giving me company at the station today. See? I mean, who wouldn't want to be in my seat right now, right?
Amongst these hunks?
Well, did you hear about Google suing IRS?
About what?
Google is suing IRS.
Ooh, I haven't heard that one. Please, pray tell.
It just caught my attention just like that because IRS has been in the news, right, for doing, wrongdoings and all that stuff. And there's this big thing, Google sues the IRS. I'm thinking, what the heck? I mean, why is Google suing IRS? Well, apparently, the Google's complaint in the U.S. tax code, this is off of the Yahoo, finance page. The IRS made a serious blunder in refusing a deduction claimed for variances between the rate and the American online paid to exercise a Google's actual cost, the stock warrant or whatever the shares, whatever it is. So apparently, so since they did not give the deduction or whatever it is, and it because they refused the claim which they think is rightfully done, so Google is suing IRS. And did it give me an amount that it's suing for? No, it hasn't. Maybe 83.5 million.
Wow.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
If Google sued the IRS, and if Google won, and if Google actually was awarded the 83.5 million, would they be taxed? Would that be taxed as capital gains?
It would be taxed, but the refund would be taxed though. I don't think it's going to be taxed as a capital gain. I mean, I'm just saying this in the blind, not that I'm an expert, but typically when we file our personal taxes and we get refunds, next year you have to report that refund.
No. I'm talking
though.
about the award by the court.
Yeah, but what this
is that taxable capital
it probably
gains?
Is.
Income.
It would be taxable, but I don't know.
Is there an accountant out there who can call us and let us know?
I'm assuming it would be taxable, but I wouldn't know under what heading or whatever.
Capital
it is,
gains.
You know. But what great.
Like hitting the lottery.
83.5. Yeah. You know what? All of us should buy lottery tickets.
I got mine.
You already bought one?
No, somebody else bought it for me because I don't gamble.
Oh.
But I kept the ticket.
You kept the ticket.
Yeah,
so
but I didn't buy the ticket.
So is it for the draw tonight?
It's I think it was for last year.
Oh, last year,
Yeah,
Chaz.
I still
I mean, are you keeping it as a memento or something?
Well, I just keep forgetting to check it. I go to the
But-
store and I forget to check it.
But you know it's last year, right?
Oh yeah. June 24, 2012.
There you go. I think you should just put that in the trash can right under the
See,
table.
I didn't want
That's
to cash.
almost a year to the day, Chaz.
Yeah, it's almost.
I actually didn't want to cash this in because these are my lucky numbers.
Ah, there you go. Well, it's like a keepsake then for you.
Yes, indeed.
All right, dosto, zindagi is always खूबसूरत just for the people. It's beautiful. You know how I say zindagi gulzar hai, you know, same thing. Khoobsurat is beautiful. And the show that I used to watch, or I kind of lost track of it, but I was curious enough to go back and see what is happening in that store. Dil Ki Nazar Se Khoobsurat. In fact, you know, it was slated for a mid-July ending. I'm not sure if it's still going on that way because the show just took a 5-year leap, and Madhav, aka Ehsas, has passed away. Now Aradhya has a 5-year-old son, and she names him after her dad, Ehsas. Now, of course, there is a little background on that where apparently Ehsas is not her son because her baby actually dies in childbirth, and then the doctor who is in the same hospital, his wife who is delivering the baby, the wife dies. So there you have a mother without a child and a child without a mother because of the medical.
These kind of stories make me cry. Why are you doing this to me?
So the doctor gives the baby to her, and he kind of slips away from the life, and then they meet up after 5 years, and of course Aradhya doesn't know about all these things. So and the doctor keeps avoiding her. So they've come to a point where it's going to be the 5th birthday, and she wants to invite him for the birthday. So we have to see how this story is going to move forward, in the sense I'm expecting a track between these two people, which makes it sensible. Both of them are alone, for them to come together.
Sounds like entanglement, quantum physics.
Yeah, there's a
Entanglement.
little static in my there we go, it's gone now. But yeah, you know, and I think it's nice, and I think it would be nice to have them come together. So I don't know if this is going to be a new lease for the show, or if it is still going to be taken off air mid-July. So that is another thing that is, but you know what, the parents have accepted everyone. The mother-in-law and the father-in-law are doing great. I like the way that though they have lost a son, they've come together. They've been supporting each other, and Aradhya is taking care of the radio station. You know what it is, she runs a radio station, Chaz, in the show, and I kind of cool.
Oh, she does, huh?
Her husband used to be a RJ and owns the radio station after he passes away, so she's taking care of it. And
KLOK, San Jose, San Francisco, and Oakland. The largest and most powerful Desi radio station in America. A universal media access radio station.
If your dentist appointments sound like that, then it's time to make the switch to Dr. Lee. Dr. David Lee, Family Cosmetic and Restorative Dentistry, with offices in San Jose and Sunnyvale. Give them a call today at 408-972-9926 or go to smileplanner.com. Dr. David Lee, quality and comfortable dental care you can trust.
Rangmunch Rangmunch with Alima is back for the second hour on Desi 1170, low at the bow.
Is it the second hour already?
You're having way too much fun, Chaz.
Oh my goodness.
Can I take the credit for all? Can I just take all that credit?
Oh, darling.
Nah,
But of course.
no. You guys are amazing. I'll miss you guys when you're not. We have way too much fun here, I think.
Oh, we're not only amazing, we're handsome.
There you go,
you
people.
go. Thank
Dosto,
you,
I have
Jazz.
two handsome hunks, giving me company at the station today. See? I mean, who wouldn't want to be in my seat right now, right?
Amongst these hunks?
Well, did you hear about Google suing IRS?
About what?
Google is suing IRS.
Ooh, I haven't heard that one. Please, pray tell. Pray tell.
It just caught my attention just like that because IRS has been in the news, right, for doing, wrongdoings and all that stuff. And there's this big thing, Google sues the IRS. I'm thinking, what the heck? I mean, why is Google suing IRS? Well, apparently, the Google's complaint in the US tax code, this is off of the Yahoo, finance page. The IRS made a serious blunder in refusing a deduction claimed for variances between the rate and the American online paid to exercise a Google's actual cost, the stock warrant or whatever the shares, whatever it is. So apparently, so since they did not give the deduction or whatever it is, and it because they refused the claim which they think is rightfully done, so Google is suing IRS. And did it give me an amount that it's suing for? No, it hasn't. Maybe 83.5 million.
Wow.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
If Google sued the IRS, and if Google won, and if Google actually was awarded the 83.5 million, would they be taxed? Would that be taxed as capital gains?
It would be taxed, but the refund would be taxed though. I don't think it's going to be taxed as a capital gain. I mean, I'm just saying this in the blind, not that I'm an expert, but typically when we file our personal taxes and we get refunds, next year you have to report that refund.
No. I'm talking
though.
about the award by the court.
Yeah, but what this
is that taxable
it
capital
probably
gains?
is.
Income.
It would be taxable, but I don't know.
Is there an accountant out there who can call us and let us know?
I'm assuming it would be taxable, but I wouldn't know under what heading or whatever
Capital
it is.
gains.
But we're great.
It's like hitting the lottery.
83.5. Yeah. You know what? All of us should buy lottery tickets.
I got mine.
You already bought one?
No, somebody else bought it for me because I don't gamble.
Oh.
But I kept the ticket.
You kept the ticket.
Yeah,
So
but I didn't buy the ticket.
So is it for the draw tonight?
It's I think it was for last year.
Oh, last year,
Yeah,
Chaz.
I still
I mean, are you keeping it as a memento or something?
Well, I just keep forgetting to check it. I go to the
But-
store and I forget to check it.
But it's last year, right?
Oh yeah. June 24, 2012.
There you go. I think you should just put that in the trash can right under the
See,
table.
I didn't want to
That's
cash.
almost a year to the day, Chaz.
Yeah, it's almost.
I actually didn't want to cash this in because these are my lucky numbers.
Ah, there you go. Well, it's like a keepsake then. Fine.
Yes, indeed.
All right, dosto. Zindagi is always Khoobsurat just for the people. It's beautiful. You know how I say Zindagi Gulzar hai, same thing. Khoobsurat is beautiful. And the show that I used to watch, or I kind of lost track of it, but I was curious enough to go back and see what is happening in that store. Dil Ki Nazar Se Khoobsurat. In fact, it was slated for a mid-July ending. I'm not sure if it's still going on that way because the show just took a 5-year leap and Madhav, aka Ehsas, has passed away. Now Aradhya has a 5-year-old son and she names him after her dad, Ehsas. Now, of course, there is a little background on that where apparently Ehsas is not her son because her baby actually dies in childbirth, and then the doctor who is in the same hospital, his wife who is delivering the baby, the wife dies. So So there you have a mother without a child and a child without a mother because of the medical.
These kind of stories make me cry. Why are you doing this to me?
So the doctor gives the baby to her, and he kind of slips away from the life, and then they meet up after 5 years, and of course Aradhya doesn't know about all these things. So and the doctor keeps avoiding her. So they've come to a point where it's going to be the 5th birthday, and she wants to invite him for the birthday. So we have to see how this story is going to move forward. In the sense, I'm expecting a track between these two people, which makes it sensible. Both of them are alone, for them to come together.
Sounds like entanglement, quantum physics.
Yeah,
Entanglement.
there's a little static in my. There we go. It's gone now. But yeah, and I think it's nice, and I think it would be nice to have them come together. So I don't know if this is going to be a new lease for the show, or if it is still going to be, taken off air mid-July. So that is another thing that is. But you know what? The parents have accepted everyone. The mother-in-law and the father-in-law are doing great. I like the way that though they have lost a son, they've come together. They've been supporting each other, and Aradhya is taking care of the radio station. You know what it is? She runs a radio station, Chaz, in the show, and I kind of cool. Yeah.
Oh, she does, huh?
Her husband used to be a RJ and owns the radio station after he passes away, so she's taking care of it, and it's very successful now. So she's doing great.
Oh, wow, that's kind of cool.
Yes, and so I think it's high time she gets a man in her life, right?
How long's it been?
5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
good
nice.
Good
yes,
timing.
it's really nice. Do we have a caller, Lowell? No? Okay, all right. But
No,
so I think
you're taking personal calls on the job, Lo. Lo's taking he's taking personal calls on the job, and I can't even call my girlfriend. Carol.
All right, though. So that is Koop Surat on Sony. It's a nice one. I mean, for a time there, I really did not enjoy the show because it was just, I don't know, it just did not have any substance or whatever it is. But now
it's hit a nerve.
It's kind of hit a nerve. But I think they've also ramped up the storyline and the execution. Now it seems to be a lot more gripping. The dialogues, you know how it is, the story slacks off. You kind of don't, you feel like you're losing it.
Yeah, so what I'm thinking is maybe they got new writers.
It could be. It could very well be.
Sometimes you have a good structure, a good foundation for a show.
Or they must have just, really bumped up, saying, hey, you better get your act together, otherwise it's going to go off the show.
Or it's the unemployment line.
Yeah. So that's what it is. So I think that is pretty cool. So that is Koop Surat for you. And then we have a few more shows. And of course, Arjun. I mean, I'm such a stickler for thriller shows and everything, no matter how. It is so hilarious. I mean, it is so hilarious because I'm fascinated with all the CSIs and everything. And the standard is so high in the US, right? I end up watching the Indian suspense thrillers, the CIDs, or, the emergency task force, those kind of things. And I sit there and I'm watching and I'm thinking, he doesn't have a glove in his hand. Why is that a team of 4 people always go to the place all together at the same time? Why is the technical guy who's supposed to be a computer whiz is not sitting in the ETF office, checking things out, versus why does he need to be on the scene? I'm comparing constantly with the American standards to the Indian. I mean, I totally love this show. This is one show, no matter how many little things I find they could fix it to make it great, I just enjoy the show. I mean, the storyline itself is good, but I'm sitting there and I'm watching, because I've watched these shows so many times, right? I'm sitting there and watching, what the heck, he doesn't have gloves and he's touching that evidence. I mean, how can they even make an assumption, or it's not even an assumption. How can they make a statement? She's been dead for 3-4 hours without taking it to to the coroner's office. You know what I'm saying? and
it's kind of like when I watch one of my old Bruce Lee movies. I've always been a big fan of Bruce Lee. Watch an old Bruce Lee movie, it's the same.
I used to love Bruce Lee.
What do you mean used to?
I mean, but it's been
Bruce
a while.
Lee rules.
Yeah, well, there you go. I stand corrected, Chaz.
Question for you, Chaz. Jackie Chan versus Bruce Lee.
Oh,
Bruce Lee.
There would be no Jackie Chan without Bruce Lee.
I would go. There you go.
Bruce Lee broke the mold for television Chinese to appear in American TV. He just busted the gates wide open. That was his goal. One of his goals. It wasn't just to study the arts. It wasn't just to be on TV and in the movies. It was to bring recognition to the Chinese actors who had all this talent.
And in fact, I
America.
remember watching. I think they had like 3 or 4 parts or whatever, right, for Bruce Lee movies. I remember I was so young. That's like another lifetime
What do
away.
you mean 3 or 4 parts?
Or is it more? Well, we
There's
know
many
how,
movies.
Well, I'm sure, but what I'm saying is the original ones, the first one that came, because there are a
Enter the
lot of
Dragon.
versions. I'm sure there were a lot of
Oh, the
versions.
first time Bruce Lee appeared on American TV was Kato in what's that? The Wasp? Oh, geez. Oh my goodness. Work with me, Lou.
I'm as stumped as you are right now, Jay.
What was that old superhero TV show?
Well, superhero TV show? There are a lot of superhero TV shows, but
It'll come to me. Okay, it'll come
to you, so-
Well, you'll be in the middle of something else. And I'm gonna
that's
scream
okay.
it out.
You can just yell
The
it
Green
out.
Hornet.
There you go.
The Green Hornet.
The Green Hornet. There we
Yes,
go.
indeed.
I know. But anyway, so like I said, I enjoyed this. I mean, it's one of those shows where weekend I have to watch because it comes only on Saturday and Sunday. I thoroughly enjoy it. I laugh at it. I smile at it. And I'm still thinking they could have done this, and this. I'm still thinking, why is that all of them have to go to the same place at the same time? They don't need to do that. And they always show the team lead not being that smart. And that kind of irks me because the reason you are an ETF lead is you are smart. I mean, there is a certain because this is a special task force, right? I mean, you just don't bring off the street. So certain dialogues, the way they write them, the way they show and it makes me look like these people.
Are these intended to be like modern shows, or would
Well, they are modern shows. I mean, if you watch CSI.
I mean, yeah, if I watch CSI.
It's similar.
Okay, similar.
In a similar show, you have the special task force who would take care of, murders and issues or whatever.
But is the emphasis more on the storyline? Is it on the fantasy? Is it on the skill? Is it on the technique? What is the emphasis on?
I would say the emphasis is
program?
on the story. If the emphasis would be on the
For
story.
example, with if you watch old Japanese theater, not just theater but TV, television, there is clearly over dramatic, over the top drama.
Yeah.
But that's a style, a technique which is highly cherished in Japanese
Well, see,
television.
that I can expect even with the Indian TV shows, there is over the top drama. That is expected.
And it's done in a way that it's art.
Yes.
It takes talent to do it that way.
It absolutely is. See, now what is happening is a lot of shows are trying to be a more progressive, trying to make it much more common sense, reasonable. You would be able to relate to it, So, but even at that point, but subtle things like maybe people who are just watching it may not notice it, but I am like such a stickler of these things that I've watched for so long. Some of them is just basic common sense, which I think is if you're doing a CSI kind of a show and you want to make it look real, even if it is simple thing as a blood drop where it has to be correct. It has to be in the right place. It has to be the right way. You know what I'm saying?
I
That
gotcha.
is what really... And despite all these things that are not there, I still end up watching that show.
So you want to get lost in the storyline.
Yeah, I mean,
And that's good.
and not to mention the guy is really nice. I like the guy.
You better not say the guy's
He's
really
not
cute.
handsome. No,
Okay,
he's got
okay,
this
I was
rugged.
gonna-
He's
I was
got
gonna-
this really rugged dark tan. He fits the role. He fits the role of this tough cop. Whatever. But anyways, that is Arjun for you people. I mean, I like it. Like I said. It's fun. Well, anyways, I'm sure it's time for another song. Not Chaz. Sorry, Lowell. You have a favorite?
Look, how you get the two of us mixed up? I'm like over here across the way. I got hair. Lowe's got hair.
Yeah.
You
See,
know,
I can make a comment.
I got a
that's it.
tan.
It's the
Lowe's
heat.
got hair.
It's the heat. It's making me fuzzy and dizzy there.
Blistering.
All right, dosto. Well, I said since it's going to be the last day for Lowell, in fact, he's going to, well, not yet, but I want Lowell to share his most memorable moments in Rangmunch with Alima, which is going to come up later. And of course, his favorite songs, top of the songs that he's pulled for us. Ready, ready, Lowell? You have a song? All right, let's go.
Rock and roll, baby.
Yep.
Make some noise for the Desi boys. D-boys. D-boys.
Rangmunch with Alima is back on Desi 1170. Well, we seem to be having way too much fun, and I just want to do a special shout out to an offline lady listener, Jen. Thank you, Jen. It was very nice to see someone listening to our show and calling up and talking about it. And she was interested in the first show we talked about Chenchan, about the the modern lady getting married into the Orthodox family. So we'll say, well, Jen, I gave you my details and everything. If you ever feel like talking online, you have the number, or if you want to talk offline too, hey, we are right here. So you can't miss us. So thank you again for listening on to the show. And of course, well, which reminds me, I can go home and talk, watch Arjun again, and then crib about it. How come they don't have gloves on, and how come they don't have this on?
Part of it all is the interactiveness. It sounds like you've been very interactive with this TV show. Look how involved you are with it.
No, because see, the thing was even before when we were doing the shows and stuff. I used to write for the some of the websites, right?
Yes, indeed.
I used to write about all these shows. I used to dissect them and all the stuff and things. Now I don't have so much time, but even now I don't watch them every day. I try to catch up that every once in 2 days, so I know kind of what is happening and all that stuff. But I like it. I mean, if some show interests me, I really like watching it. I would dissect it. I would crib about it, but I would totally enjoy it. But I would not get upset. I'm not one of those fanatic fans. You know what I'm saying? Those fanatic people who would get upset if something happened.
You don't think you are.
No, I know I am not. See? There you go. Anyways, those two. And then, of course, Saraswati Chandra. Here is another show that I kind of, watch once in a while. Actually, I kind of try to catch all the episodes, even if it's a Thursday or a Friday, watching 10 shows, 5 days a week. And, that's like 50 episodes that I have to kind of catch up on Thursdays.
And she gets paid for this, folks. Big bucks.
You're right, Chaz. Don't just give that false information. People will think I'm really getting paid big bucks for it. Let me tell you though, so I do this purely for my pleasure because I just like doing the radio show. I like talking to you people.
Remember, love what you do
I
and
love
you'll
it.
do what you
It's
love.
nice. It's fun to talk about it. Hey, if anyone wants to talk books, I'll talk books also, because I'm a voracious reader. I
want to
read.
suggest a book.
Go ahead.
The book that I think is everybody should read, and I'm going to check it out right now. It's called "Who Moved My Cheese." I'm going to look up the author now.
Oh my God, I have that book. You gave it
What?
to me.
That's what happened to it. I've been looking for that book for the past 7 years.
I should have shut my
Oh
mouth
my
on
God.
that. Hey, no, wait a minute. We never knew each other 7 years ago, okay?
They don't know that.
Hey, don't listen to Chaz. I had that book only for about a year now, and I'm sure I have it in my library somewhere.
Let's see. Who Moved My Cheese is a fascinating book. It is written by Spencer Johnson. And it is, all I can say is you have got to read this book.
Okay.
It's an easy reader.
It's an easy reader. That is true. That is true. All right, Dosto, moving on to Saraswati Chandra. Well, Saras and Kumud have been engaged. They are separated now because one is in Dubai and the other one is in India. And, and Saras is also lattu over Kumud ki. He even forgets that he has his business to run. He seems to be missing deadlines. He seems to be missing presentations, which I think is all very cute and everything for the first time. But boy, he is in deep, deep, deep trouble. I want to say another word, but he's in deep, deep, deep trouble because he actually leaves for India with a very important business merger waiting in Dubai. And his dad's waiting for him. And he's in India without telling anyone to meet his fiancée, who does, we do this fasting once a year for our husbands. At least in the north, they do that Karwa Chauth ka thing where, wives fast for the prosperity and the goodwill of their husbands. They don't eat the whole day. Then at nighttime when the moon comes out, they see the moon, they see the husbands, they see the husband, they do the puja and everything, and then the husbands break the fast for the wives.
Oh, is that the one where they fast for 30 days?
No, that is like the Ramzan thing, the Ramadan thing that they do.
Okay.
And of course, don't even for what is Easter and everything also, they do some kind of, they don't eat meat and all that stuff. But this is just one day.
Okay.
Yeah, but this is just one day.
That's sweet. That's nice.
So it's more for the world. But of course, loving husbands also tend to fast for their wives, It's just such a sweet thing to do. But anyways, so he ends up in India. completely ignoring that important, very important make or do business venture in Dubai or a merger. And I'm pretty sure the instigator or the person who influenced him to do these things, which I kind of missed a few shows in between, but must be his stepmom, because his stepmom is that evil stepmom. There we have this evil stepmom there. But anyway, so, well, Saraswati Chandra, that's what is happening in Saraswati Chandra, people. Obviously, and of course, the other important thing was Kumari, who was smitten with that sub-inspector car, the evil police officer. She comes to know about his real identity, that he's actually really married and he's got 2 kids. The only reason they were trying to get married is to get back at her mother because it estranged and everything. So all the details still have to come out, but at least now I'm happy that Kumari knows that, that guy is a bad guy. So.
Oh my.
Well, if anyone is following the show, what I'm saying is, since the mother is evil, the stepmom has her own son. So I'm like, I wish this guy falls in love with this girl. That would be the ultimate kick in the blah, 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 for this stepmom, because she hates that family so much.
But that would only encourage her to continue to do evil.
Oh, but this is her own son. What is she going to do when her own son ends up marrying a girl in that, because he falls in love with her? Then what's going to happen?
Somebody needs to throw a bucket of water on her and watch her melt.
well, But anyway, so that is what Saraswati Chandra is happening right now. So it is moving on slowly. Of course, next week it's going to be a cyclone of emotions, and I'm sure Saras is going to be on the receiving end of his dad's anger for not being there. And I think it's time for a little break. You have your song? Whose song is this?
This is my song.
All right. It's okay. I shall let, even though you didn't take my permission to get the song, it's all right, Chas. Since you're such a good It's okay, It's fine.
It's a beautiful song.
All right. Fine. You've convinced me. All right, though. So there we go. It's Chas' favorite song is coming up for you guys. Stay tuned. Rangmunch with Alima on Desi 1170 408 912 5565.
तूने काटी है, चोरी से काटी है, यहाँ वहाँ रूठी हूँ, मैं तुझसे रूठी हूँ, मुझे मना लेना, ओ जाने जा।
छेड़ेंगे हम तुझको, लड़की तू है बड़ी बुम्बाट, आहा आहा आहा, उलाला 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 उलाला, तू है मेरी फैंटेसी।
छूना ना छूना ना, छूना ना छूना ना, अब मैं जवा हो गई।
अरे 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 उलाला 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 उलाला, तू है मेरी फैंटेसी।
छूना ना छूना ना, छूना ना छूना ना, अब मैं जवा हो गई। छुआ जो तूने तो दिल्ली मारी सिटी,
इन गल पे एक पप्पी मीठी मीठी,
छुआ जो तूने तो दिल्ली मारी सिटी,
दे इन गल पे एक पप्पी मीठी मीठी, यौवन तेरा सावन भरा, भीग गया दिल ये मेरा।
तूने ही बरसात कराई, क्या करे ये यौवन बेचारा बेचारा बेचारा।
अबराम छोड़ दे इसे। क्या किया तूने? ये लड़की ऐसे ही आग लगाएगी। ये मोटी।
उलाला 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 उलाला, तू है मेरी फैंटेसी।
छूना ना छूना ना, छूना ना छूना ना, अब मैं जवा हो गई।
उलाला 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 उलाला, तू है मेरी फैंटेसी। बाट उलाला 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 तू है मेरी फैंटेसी
छूना ना छूना ना छूना ना छूना ना अब मैं जवा हो गई
अरे 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 उलाला 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 तू है मेरी फैंटेसी
छूना ना छूना ना छूना ना छूना ना अब मैं जवा हो हाँ छुआ जो तूने तो दिल्ली मारी सिटी
दे इन गाल पे एक पप्पी मीठी मीठी
छुआ जो तूने तो दिल्ली मारी सिटी
दे इन गाल पे एक पप्पी मीठी मीठी यौवन तेरा सावन भरा भीग गया दिल ये मेरा
तूने ही बरसात कराई क्या करे ये यौवन बेचारा बेचारा बेचारा
अबराम अबराम छोड़ दे इसे क्या किया तूने ये लड़की ऐसे ही आग लगाएगी ये मोटी
उलाला 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 तू है मेरी फैंटेसी
छूना ना छूना ना छूना ना छूना ना अब मैं जवा हो गई
उलाला 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 तू है मेरी फैंटेसी
छूना ना छूना ना छूना ना छूना ना अब मैं जवा हो गई
Well, that was good warning. 5 seconds and you put your mic on and then just get back on. So Rangmunch with Alima is back on Desi 1170. You know, these two guys are having way too much fun. Here I am putting these nice, lovely, olden, golden songs and these people come up and just jumpstart everything. Now people are going to think I'm such a boring lady doing this show and here you guys are like rocking with all this music
Well,
and
you
stuff. My goodness, you guys really planned this out, huh?
You know, Alima, the only response I have for you is peace can only be found when we first accept what we truly are.
There you go. You know, you always
We're
have
exciting, you're boring.
Oh, man!
And those were your words, weren't they?
I wonder why do I put up with you, Chaz? I mean, why do I? My goodness, I need to understand this.
Because you love me and Lou. We're awesome. We're like your big brothers, and we take care of you.
Oh, that is so sweet. That is so sweet. But you know what? I'm having such a fantastic time today. It's really fun to be here and, you know, just chat away and, you know, talk about stuff and gossip and things like that. But anyway, well, you know, I always wanted to see what is happening around the world, but I didn't get a chance as much this time. So, except the Google and the IRS and stuff like that, you know. But hey, you've covered, you know, you did Yosemite and all that stuff. So that is pretty cool. I think it must have been an amazing trip, huh?
It was incredible.
Did Carol have a good time?
You know, she enjoyed herself thoroughly. I think that she perhaps, you know, I kind of planned the trip because I know the country. I planned the trip before she came out here. I may have planned too much to see in too short of a time. We only had 2 weeks.
Well, you know, that's what happens when you have family or friends visiting. You come up with all these plans and everything, which reminds me, my sister's heading my way again.
Oh.
Were you here when my sister was here last time? No,
No,
you were
I've
not.
only met your daughters, I believe,
you met
yeah.
my daughters. Yeah. My sister is coming here for about 4 or 5 days.
And where will
next.
you take her when she arrives?
Well, let her arrive first and then we'll decide
Start
where he
planning
wants
now.
to go. No, they'd probably just want to end up, you know, just spending time with the family or whatever. So I'm going to take some time off and see what they want to do. You know, it's nice. It's nice to just have them here. You know, it's always me going lots of times. It's hard for them to come here. And the good thing is it's summer. The kids are also at home.
It's getting pretty hot. It's going to be a hot summer, I think.
Well, I'm assuming we're just going to be having this summer, you know, little summer
It was
heat extremities once in a while, but not on a daily basis.
Earlier today, I was in Sacramento. It got up to 110. Livermore, 108.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, that's what I was telling Lowell when I started the show. Death Valley was 128 before noon.
A couple of days ago, it was 100.
And Palm Springs in Southern
degrees.
California was at 117.
Yes,
You know,
indeed.
so well, they were expecting the heat wave, so this is going to continue until Wednesday, is what I heard.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, anyways, now I have to tell you about the new show I ended up watching. Of course, I didn't get a chance to watch a Pakistani show. I have recommendations, but I still have to kind of, end up watching it. But the new show that I'm watching is on, let's see, it is called Ek Nanad Ki Khushiyon Ki Chabi, Meri Babi. I know it's a very long title. Meri Babi is the short term. Now, Babi is like the sister-in-law. So obviously the title means like my sister-in-law, so this show is about two girls, she's married into it. It's if I'm looking at my relationship to explain it, like Sai's sister would be my sister-in-law, right? I mean, with marriage, as marriage thing. So anyways, so as a daughter-in-law, like Indian traditions and everything, as an older daughter-in-law, you're always responsible for making sure the family is, stays connected, things are run smoothly. There is really not many, any little issues pop up. It's typically the oldest daughter-in-law of the family who pulls everything together, like the glow, everything. So anyway, so this daughter-in-law, her sister-in-law actually ends up marrying a guy that the parents oppose. And then, of course, a guy leaves her and goes away. We don't know what happened. So the story starts off with the dad. And she happens to be the only daughter with 4 brothers. And of course, she's the apple of the dad's eye. So every birthday, 12 o'clock, midnight, he always gets a call. And it's the first year she doesn't call him. And he's all worried and everything. And so, of course, they show us as to why she doesn't call. So she's living in Mumbai, her husband leaves her. She doesn't know where her husband is. She's got like a 5 or a 6-year-old son. So she doesn't have money. So she cooks food for other people. And, that's how she tries to make some money. But even that doesn't really work out and everything. And then, of course, she calls the dad on the birthday, but she's kind of crying and there is so much sadness. So the oldest daughter-in-law of the house, she figures there's something wrong. So she tells her husband, you need to go and check this out. I want you to go to make sure she's doing all right, because I just think there is something wrong, right? So he goes to Mumbai and he's shocked to see that her husband has left, that she is literally penniless, with a son. So they bring her back home. And of course, the the thing about the Indian culture and traditions, how you have these people who speak arrogantly, who say hurtful things because they just think they're always in the right and everything. So this daughter-in-law's mother is one of those arrogant, rich people who talks that according to society, it has to be like this. The people are going to talk as to why your daughter is coming and staying in the house, because tradition says once a daughter leaves the house, no matter what, she has to stay with the husband, all these things. All these things, which, where the old traditional people think this is how it should be, versus the modern progressive thinking saying, if your husband is wrong or abusive, you better leave him. It's not like you. It's
Now,
not
is that
like,
true in India?
It is true. It still happens,
If
because
he's
what
abusive,
they do,
they
yeah.
encourage the female to leave?
Yeah, I would encourage my cousins, you better get out of there. What the heck? I don't care what everyone else is saying. He's been abused, you move out. I know it's hard, it's difficult, but you have our support. Versus the older generation are so scared of what the society would think of them. They would force them to say, hey, you better adjust to what is happening. Oh, yeah, men will stray once in a while. They'll come back to you. Oh, yeah, have kids. Everything will happen. All the problems. That never made sense to me, how a kid would solve problems between a wife and husband. Never, ever made sense to me. So, well, that is my opinion. I'm sure there are people who have different opinions. But to me, if you're abusive and you have a hand that is coming out and saying, I'll help you, take it. Take it and go get another life. You know what I'm saying? I know it is hard.
Love never needs to physically hurt or emotionally hurt.
No, it's painful, whatever. So obviously, so they bring her back home, and of course they're going through all this pain and despair. They're so unhappy to see the daughter of the house in this situation where, and of course she's guilty because she opposed her parents and went and married this guy, and a year later the guy left her. So she's feeling damn guilty about it because she's brought so much pain to the family. and the parents are feeling bad about it, and they don't know how to, make things right. And there's another daughter-in-law in the house who is the little immature, naive person who feels, who's caught up with the traditions of the family and kind of says hurtful things. She keeps throwing these little barbs, right? Sarcastic barbs, you call them, whatever, that hurts people sometimes, But anyways, I kind of liked it. I mean, I just came across it in passing on this show, but I like the fact where they show a daughter-in-law of the house sticking up for her, a sister-in-law, being modern about it, but yet traditional enough to make sure this family is together. I mean, she explains things to them. She just doesn't blindly follow what her husband says or whatever. She has this really pleasing personality, or her character, where she would go, she would talk, she would actually sit in front of this person and explain things and talk. And that's what I like. Because it is so very rare for people in India to actually listen to anyone. It's like, I told you so, you do it.
Why is that?
Well, I think it's cultural. I think it's cultural because man has always been like the head of the household, and whatever I say goes. You're raised like that. He's the one who's the breadwinner. Women are always relegated to being housewives and taking care of it, and they have this attitude like, oh, we know what we're doing. That kind of a thing. It's that ego comes in sometimes, that you're wired that way. In different cultures, people are wired differently.
So you're also wired to just generally, are the women generally wired to just accept that?
Yeah, accept that, but I don't think it's happening now. I don't think people, the modern generation is not. In fact, I think the modern generation is just on the other extreme, where at the first sign of trouble, they give you divorce papers, which I think is totally wrong too. Hey,
issues need to be worked
out. Yeah, it's a relationship. You need to nurture it. You need to work at it. If not, at the first sign of trouble, hey, I want out, then that's not healthy either, right?
Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
so it's hard to put all these feelings and the way people react and think and perceive things. Their perceptions are so different. Well, anyways, but I thought it was a very interesting show. So far, usually when the show, it's just been like about 2 weeks, I think, and usually within the 2 weeks the shows really don't give you any impression at all. I actually liked it from the first episode itself.
Would you say it was kind of it was pretty realistic?
It was pretty realistic, and then there was no major drama over the top as yet. But it was just now they're just like deciding, okay, you know what, we're just going to get hold of this guy. We're just going to get a divorce, and so it's like they're divided on it. They're divided on it because do you really want her to go through it? Do you want to bring this guy back again? Oh my God, my daughter's going to be a divorcee.
They're getting the viewer to really focus and think what's going to be.
Yeah, it's
kind of like a juror.
Yeah, kind of. It's kind of make you think. What would you do if you're in that situation, right?
That's good.
It's like a joint family.
I like those shows that get you emotionally
right.
involved.
And what got me also was the depth of the relations and the characters. Typically, I really don't get that feeling when I see some shows. It was just so, just on the surface. But this really, really kind of got to me because it seems so realistic, but something to watch it. We'll see how it goes. It's just it's just a new kid on the block kind of a thing. So it's just 2 weeks. So hopefully it'll do really well. I want it to do well.
What days is that on?
It comes every day. Gosh, I forgot the channel. It's on Star Plus, I think.
Star Plus,
I believe. So, well, I'll get the dates the next time I'm here. But I was so caught up in it that I forgot to put the notes on it, which day it is or everything, because I was like already my mind was, I can write stuff about this show, but I'm like, no, Alima, don't go there because then you won't.
But they can also Google that too. What was the name of that show?
Well, it's a long name, but I think if you Google in Meri Bhabhi, I think you will get it. MERI, well, this is how I spelled it, MERI BHABHI. But I'm sure once you Google it or even put it on the YouTube, you will probably get. But then again, dosto, you want more information, just message me on Rangmunch with Alima, whatever, and I'll get that information to you. So,
can they contact you on Facebook also?
Yep.
Well,
on the page, Rangmunch with Alima.
What's your name? Rangmunch
with Alima.
Is that one word or separate words?
It's 3 separate words.
3 separate words. 3 separate words oftentimes are beautiful, kind of like I love you.
Yeah,
you know?
see, I love you too, Chaz. Thank you. And of course, you can, well, I'm sure you won't have access to my whole page or whatever it is, but you can always send me a message for Alima Lives, Let Lives, in case you're wondering. And of course, a lot of people thought that was my last name. I remember when I changed.
I remember the story.
When I
please
changed
tell the
that,
world. Tell the world.
When I from last name is Kanamali, but you know I changed it to Lives Let Lives because that's always been my motto. You live and let live, right? So that's where everything it says. So when I changed it, I got so many messages. People ask me if I got married, and that was my last name. I thought that was so hilarious. Really, they never broke it as Lives Let Lives. They just thought it was one word, Lives Let Lives, and they thought it was my last name.
But you know, it's a wonderful name. I like the name because it often, whenever I hear it, it oftentimes reminds you of, regardless of what may be going on in your life and in anybody's life, we need to remember to live and let live.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, that has always been my motto. All right. Who's ready for Senorita? Or do you have a song coming up? You have one, Lowell?
You Senorita or my last one? Which one?
Good. Let's do your last one, and then we can always close it with Senorita for Chaz. All right, those. So here it comes up. And then when we come back, Lowell's best moments on Rangmunch with Alima.
दुनिया चले पिछाड़ी तो मैं चलूं अगाड़ी सब खेल जानता हूँ मैं हूँ बड़ा खिलाड़ी ओहो दुनिया चले पिछाड़ी तो मैं चलूं अगाड़ी सब खेल जानता हूँ मैं हूँ बड़ा खिलाड़ी सुमड़ी में लेके जाऊं और सबको मैं सिखाऊं क्या चिंता ता चिता चिता चिंता ता दुनिया चले पिछाड़ी तो मैं चलूं अगाड़ी सब खेल जानता हूँ मैं हूँ बड़ा खिलाड़ी सुमड़ी में लेके जाऊं और सबको मैं सिखाऊं क्या चिंता ता चिता चिता चिंता और क्या रंग रूप है क्या चाल ढाल है और क्या रंग रूप है क्या चाल ढाल है ये लाजवाब है ये बेमिसाल है और नया नया साल है नया नया माल है मिल जाए कोई छोरी काली हो जाए गोरी मिल जाए कोई चोरी काली हो जाए गौरी चुपके से चोरी चोरी बांधू मैं दिल की डोरी सुमड़ी में लेके जाऊं और इसको मैं सिखाऊं क्या आंखों में रूप है पॉकेट में नोट है और आंखों में रूप है पॉकेट में नोट है नटखट मिजाज है रंगीला कोट है सूरत मासूम है नीयत में खोट पैसा जलाऊं चक्कर सीधा करूं करेक्टर रास्ते पे इसको लाऊं इसे आईना दिखाऊं सिमड़ी में लेके जाऊं और सबको मैं सिखाऊं क्या चिंता ता चिंता 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 ता 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 चिंता ता चिंता 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 ता
If your dentist appointments sound like that, then it's time to make the switch to Dr. Lee. Dr. David Lee, Family Cosmetic and Restorative Dentistry, with offices in San Jose and Sunnyvale. Give them a call today at 408-972-9926 or go to smileplanner.com. Dr. David Lee, quality and comfortable dental care you can trust.
And Rangmunch with Alima is back. Well, we seem to be having so much jazzed up fun, right? I mean, these guys are like tapping and pounding tables with music and, you know.
We told you they'd be dancing in the street.
Yeah, there you go.
Well,
see?
yeah, tonight's the night we could go till midnight. That's how much fun we're having
All
here.
right, of course, we can do that. Now, Lowell, time for you to share with us your favorite moments on Rangmunch with Alima. I would love to hear this.
Oh, yeah. You know, these were really hard for me to rank, so I'll just give you my 3 favorite moments from Rangmunch with Alima. The first time we had Chaz in studio.
Oh, you're too kind. You're too kind. Right.
So here's the backstory to this. Chaz, you are a legend, and what I mean by that is Alima always talks about you from the time she came here in January, or came back in January when I ran her show.
Yeah, but did she ever say anything nice?
How preposterous, Chaz. I'm offended and I am just walking off the station right now. Jeez, serious.
And Chaz, before I met you, I only knew you from your voiceover work for Shaw Pirelli and her talking about you. That's it. So meeting the legendary Chaz had to be one of my 3 favorite moments.
Oh my God! Well, the pressure's on mine. Thank you.
Well, hey Chaz, yeah, it's an honor to meeting you.
Thank you, Alima.
Hey, thank you, Chaz.
Alrighty, Alima. My second favorite moment was there was a show, I want to say a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
You were sick and you told me about it. So I was thinking, oh, geez, hopefully I can get her through the show. It was
right.
just me and you. You had I don't know if it was a cold or whatever.
Yeah, it was a cold, yes. Yeah.
Something like that. And much to our surprise, the callers, they really picked us up.
Yep.
Because I don't know if it was one of those scenarios where the listeners... They know the host is sick. They're going to call in and fill some time. But we had callers not only call in, but it was almost like a karaoke contest.
Yes, it was. We had like, what, seven,
about
6, 7?
And they were, and about most of them were singing. It was great.
It was fantastic. We had a great time that time. I remember that episode. I mean, they were talking. You know, there was like reeling of lyrics and the songs and everything. Awesome. Yeah, it was great fun.
That alone I'm sure would make you feel a little bit better.
Oh yeah, it was really cool. It was cool.
I haven't heard anything quite like that.
Yes. I mean, we've been getting calls and stuff, but just the fact that when they call up, in fact, one person called like 3 times and we were singing on air, you know, that was really cool. Yes, yep. And,
you know, like I said, I had trouble ranking these, but if I had to pick number 1, it would be, last but not least, of course, you letting me do my top 5 Hindi songs.
Oh, I love the top 5 Hindi songs.
She gave you that much freedom? She makes me script everything, and it's got to be approved in triplicate before I can say anything. Oops, I didn't hand you that in script, did I?
Ha, ha, ha.
And and Alima, that right there is an indication of your unselfishness and just your generosity to let me not only be a part of the show, but to be a big part of the show. And there aren't very many hosts like Alima on this station. And Alima, I'm going to miss doing the show.
Oh my God.
I really am.
Someone pull me down from the clouds, please.
Oh, no, you deserve it. It's all yours, Alima. You've been doing a heck of a job. And there's a lot of people who appreciate what you've been doing. And Lou, you too, man. You're like the backbone.
Hey, he's what? Yeah.
This runs smoothly. You got everything with the computers and all the fancy gadgets there. You folks can't see this, but there's all kinds of electronic equipment around Lou here, man. This guy, he's like a genius.
Yes, and it's also the chemistry, right? It's not often that you just hit off with another person right immediately. You know what I'm saying? It makes a big difference when you have the camaraderie going, the fun, the sense of humor and all those things. But hey, Lowell, I have to thank you so much for everything that you have done. I'm really, really going to miss you. But hey, we'll keep in touch.
Yes, we
will. Maybe you can come in as a guest like how Chaz. Hey, you guys should plan to come on the same day.
We'll have another special, right? Chaz and myself
and Lowell,
in studio. Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
Exactly. Yeah. That would be super cool. Hey, Chaz, you ready for your second favorite song?
Oh, yes.
We have time for one more.
Yes,
you want Tere Mary? Tere
Mary.
All right, so here comes one of Chaz's favorite songs.